Man, come on in and have a seat. Relax your feet and peep the illest podcast you done heard all week. Hey, this is No Holds Barred. I'm talking freedom of speech. So check your feelings at the door as we continue to speak about what? Sex, love, and relationship. And even conversations about politics. A little bit of comedy and knowledge, man. With a host to teach you all about empowerment. Now what we doing? We're chilling in the chat house. And where we at? We're chilling in the chat house. Now what we doing? We're chilling in the chat house. And where we at? We're chilling in the chat house. And what we doing? We're chilling in the chat house. And where we at?
Welcome back to the Chat House. I'm your host, Kenny M.O.B. And today's guest has a very unique way of looking at relationships. Her theory could be a bit shocking, non-traditional, if you will. She doesn't believe in love anymore, and we're aiming to find out why. In the recent years, we're starting to see a rising number of people feeling this way, men and women, that's looking at relationship more as a partnership versus an intimate relationship. But we're going to explore why she thinks this way. Once again, Chat House, we're not here to judge, but to learn. So let's give this young lady a chance to speak on her beliefs, her ideal. We give you Nola Simone. Let's give her a call.
Hello.
Hello. How's it going?
It's going great. How are you?
I'm doing fairly well. This is Ken from the Chat House.
Good to hear from you.
You as well. Earlier we were speaking, and we came upon the topic of relationships, and you made a very bold statement.
Bold indeed.
And the statement was, I do not believe in love.
I don't. I absolutely don't.
Okay. If you will, let's explore that.
All right.
First of all, let's just be basic. What would be your definition of love, so we can understand your logic?
My definition of love in a relationship, a partnership, is stability. That is my sole definition. Stability. That's what it is for me.
Okay. Are we talking more like financial, moral support, physical?
For me, it's financial. It's a partnership. It's a business. It's a spreadsheet. That is what.
Okay.
That is what love means to me.
Okay. Okay. Well, would you say you've ever been in love?
I have never been in love.
Never?
Ever.
You never had deep affection for another human being as far as in a romantic relation?
Oh no, I care, and if something happens to that person, I'll have a genuine concern. But in love, I've never had that experience.
All right. So when you say financial, I'm quite sure a lot of viewers may have an issue with that.
They should.
Well,
They're entitled.
Oh, right. Okay. But I mean, going off of how we were raised as a society, right? Or taught as a society, right? It's supposed to be about feelings and how somebody makes you feel and how you make someone else feel.
Sure.
Though, I mean, well, could we say those ideas go out the windows with you?
So for me, there has to be a mutual like.
Okay.
And I use the word like. We can enjoy each other's company. We can like each other. am I head over heels? And if you wake up today and say, "Hey, I'm done with this," am I gonna shed a tear? Probably not.
Wow.
Um, so, you know, if I wake up and say, "Hey, this does not work for me," I don't. I'm out because I'm gonna do what's best for me. Um, and
Well,
that person's thought process has nothing to do with what's best for me. So,
let me ask you this: how did this idea come about? Did you have an example? Was this a certain situation that happened to spark this idea? I'm trying to understand how this became a way of
so,
life for you.
so for me, it this became my way of thinking, and I'm not gonna say it's a way of life.
Mm-hmm.
This is my current way of thinking because I had I have two daughters, and I had children at a very young age. As a teenager, I was in the ninth grade with my first child, and when I graduated from high school, I had my second child already. And at that time, at that age, and I didn't understand it then. Um, Mothers weren't so crazy about their sons being involved with someone with children. So it was never going to be anything serious with anybody. So there were no high school sweethearts. There were no prom dates. There was none of that. Even getting into my 20s and in college and going to college, and there was still that stereotype because no and being a mother now and at this age and understanding that's a huge responsibility. And I didn't see it that way then. I just saw it as I wasn't good enough. So for me, it became, well, I'm not good enough for them. Let's switch that.
Mm.
What makes them good enough for me? So that's kind of where I stand on that, and I have stood on that. My daughter is 30 years old,
Well,
and I still stand on that
well,
firmly.
can it be fair to say that the individuals you picked or you chose or you just mutually became a couple or item or however you want to describe it, um, I guess you could say an isolated incident because like I know a lot of guys that are just good dudes and they don't mind having somebody that already have kids, right? In fact, I got several friends that they would say they already had a ready-made family. That's the term they use, and they don't have no
Mm-hmm.
problem with it. Could it be fair to say that the guys that you were involved with, that just was their way of thinking,
Well, I would say
and
at
you
that
and you and
age.
you may have put everybody else in that same box, and that could be a little unfair, don't you think?
So it's unfair to you, in your opinion.
Right.
So at that age, I don't think anybody's mindset was, you know, there's somebody out there that's gonna, be willing to take a quote unquote ready-made family
Mm-hmm.
at 15 and 16 years old. That's truly not something that any mother, and if I had sons, which I have two daughters and a grandson, if I had sons, I probably would feel that way now. Now, the older you get and the more you're established in life, that is a sole decision. But at that time, they were not making decisions for themselves. They were making decisions that, their parents were making the decisions for them. And being under your parents' roof, you follow your parents' rules. And so if your parents tell you, you are not in a serious relationship with this girl, she has two children, you're going to abide because that's who feeds you, that's who clothes you.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to abide by that. So as I became older, my mindset was, and being a single mother, it just became, this is what it is. And I didn't want people in and out of my children's lives. So I chose not to date anyone because I'm huge on not disrupting a child's life. So for me, I wasn't going to give anybody the opportunity to step into my kid's life, not just mine, but
Mm-hmm.
into my kid's life. And a year and a half later, decide, oh, this is too much for me. They're not my kids. I have to go. So I wasn't willing to take that risk with my children's feelings at all for anybody. Um,
Which is
that
understandable.
was just not going to happen. And even now, it's like for me now, I get to be the one to say, I don't want to date you. You have kids, and that is absolutely a rule of mine.
Is this a
That is a
payback?
rule.
Could we say
It's
this?
not a payback. That is just a rule of mine. I don't date anyone with children, and I don't care how old they are
Well, now,
because that's my decision now. That's my choice. As it was their choice, it's not mine.
I understand. So I mean, do you even enjoy the idea of being in a relationship? It seems like you decided to be solo dolo all the way.
I like companionship when I want companionship. I don't want to, and this may sound harsh, I don't want to wake up and look at someone on a regular basis. I don't want anybody to crowd my space. We can be in whatever they would like to label it. I don't know whatever they would like to label it. However, we're going to be in that in separate households with whatever they want to call it. We'll do that in separate households because I can't. It's overwhelming to me. I can't look at someone and entertain someone and be that whatever they need every day.
Well, let me
I can't.
well. Let me ask you this because I know this question is probably going to come up. Could it be fair to say that you could be somewhat bitter?
I don't think I'm bitter because I do enjoy people's company. It's just at the time that works for me. I'm not on their time.
Mm-hmm.
It's whatever works for me. So I don't think I'm bitter because I do, if I decide I want to go out with somebody, I'm going to do it at my time. If I decide I want to take somebody's phone call, I'm going to do it at my time. I don't feel like anybody has access to me at their discretion. Like whenever they feel like it, they can just call me. It doesn't work like that. It just really doesn't. I give you permission when you
Wow.
can or cannot speak to me because that's my choice. And I'm not bitter because I'm not angry at anything. This is just how I like living my life.
Well,
I can honestly say I don't like being bothered.
what I'm saying, based off the history you gave me, um, the elements that happen, it does make a person, it does harden a person, especially if you're a good person and you love your kids and you want what's best for them, and the person's not respecting that, or the person's not giving you what you need as far as in if you want to build a family or a real relationship with this
Hmm.
person, right?
Right.
So all of that's understandable. So if you went through that time and time again, a person can have a little resentment or have hardened feelings because we human. At the end of the day, we blood and flesh human beings,
But
and
I wouldn't say I've ever gone through that because I've never given anybody a chance to put me through that.
mhm.
So I can't say I've ever gone through something where somebody has hurt me and oh my God, they walked into my life and they walked out and I'm mad because they shouldn't have let. I've never experienced that. Um, I was married, believe it or not. I was married for a
Whoa,
partnership,
whoa, whoa,
and I
whoa,
woke
whoa.
up one day and decided I did not want to do this. And when he came home, my things were gone. I did not need to explain to him why I did not want to be with him anymore.
Wait, wait, wait. How long were you married?
I was married for 7 years,
7 years and one
and
day.
in and out of those 7 years, we may have shared a bedroom for one of those years. It was just too. The whole relationship and the dynamics of a relationship is very overwhelming for me. It's a little too much. And so when I felt like that was enough for me, then I don't feel like I need to discuss what I want or my feelings with anybody. If I don't want to do it, I just don't want to do it.
Okay.
And how I feel is all that matters.
What
And that's why I am not relationship material.
did you just say? How you feel? That's all that
It
matters.
that's all that is all that matters to me. Like I'm not going to be unhappy to make somebody else happy. I'm not going to be uncomfortable to make somebody else comfortable.
Well,
I'm not going to do
well. Let me ask you this. All right. So you do understand being in a relationship is all about two people sharing, right?
that. Who says that?
Well, I'm just saying, if you're in a
Who made
relationship,
that rule?
what I'm saying is when you married, you took vows, correct?
Yeah, I do.
All right. Do you remember those vows?
I do.
All right. So you made a verbal agreement,
That day.
right? Did you say that day?
That day I did because
Right.
that's how I felt at that time.
Oh my God.
That's
Okay.
how I felt on that day.
But you understand what I'm saying. Now,
I get what you're saying
now that now
100%.
okay, but don't you think that could be a little unfair to your significant other that
It, it
I'm just saying, like, if
it may have been, And look, I love black love. I love the black people being in love and everybody. I love it, but
Okay.
that's not for me. And so, if I feel like I'm stopping him from having happiness, I
Hmm.
am hindering him from having the relationship he desires because I can't give him that. I can't give him the emotions. I can't give him the compassion. I can't come home and ask you how's your day and let me sit down and I don't. I can't give you that. So I'm stopping somebody from having happiness.
Well,
I'm blocking them from having what they need because I have to recognize I can't give you that.
okay. I mean, honestly, I respect that. I always say this when I'm speaking with someone on relationships. I said one of the biggest things people get upset with you is you stole a lot of time from them. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So if you can be honest and say, hey, this isn't working, let me get out of the way so you can find somebody that can appreciate your time. I'm sure most rational people can understand that. So,
And I made that comment several times, but when you're telling somebody that and their rebuttal is always what I think and I want and let's try because I don't want to do, then are you being concerned about my feelings? Are my feelings being validated when it's all about what you want to do?
well, now if you're in a marriage, that person is probably somewhat confused, and sometimes time can bring about a change. Your younger self, 7 years prior, I'm sure your mindset was different in some way along the way. That mindset changed. So the person that he got 7 years ago has changed. So
No, she hasn't. No, and
what?
I'm gonna
But that
rebuttal.
day, but now let's go back to your first statement. Now you said that day you
But
was
if a
on board.
person goes into something knowing that I don't believe in love, knowing that
Now this
and they
person
in
knew.
their mind
Now this
they can
person knew.
change you.
Now he
He
knew.
now he knew my stance on that and this stability and to these two great incomes we're gonna be the power couple. If you know this, yet you feel like eventually she's gonna change, or
Wait,
now I want to shift the dynamics,
wait. I want to be clear
then
on
who's
this.
wrong?
Okay. Let's be clear on this. So you had a conversation prior to the marriage, and you was making the same statements you're making here and now in the chat house.
Absolutely.
So you told him that I don't believe in love. This is going to be a partnership, bare minimum, affection or whatever, right? And and and
Absolutely.
and you said all this to him, and he agreed.
I said all this to him and he agreed. I even said to the fact that I have no control over your personal life. What you do is what you do. Just don't do it in my home because I know I can't give you what you need. And the statement was made, it takes three people to make a good relationship in that marriage because I can't give it to you. So by all means, have at it.
Wait,
Like
wait, wait, wait,
do
wait,
what do you.
wait. You, I'm just trying to. You,
I
you,
that's
you, you, you told him
hey, do what you have to do.
it take three people.
It takes three people to make a good marriage sometimes, especially if you're dealing with someone like me, because I can't give you what you need. And I can tell you that up front. I cannot give you what you need. If what you're desiring is that compassion and that in love type of feeling and the butterflies and the, oh, I can't wait to get home to see her, I'm not that person. I'm not that person. Now, if you want to build and we want to open some businesses and we want to have a great partnership and be that power couple, I am that person. But if it's anything outside of that, I can't do
Okay. Okay.
that.
Um. Okay. So, well, this is gonna be hard for some people because everybody came up on some type of tradition. A lot of
Right.
times, we're Christian based, religion.
Hmm. Absolutely.
And do you think? Because I know each one of these situations are different. Because I know some women they changed when they started making a lot of money. And I know some women, a guy got to make a certain amount of money for her to like the guy, right? It's got to be financial, pretty much kind of
Hmm.
what you're saying. But if we're gonna be fair, what happens, when the money runs out? Let's say he was a great partner, great business partner, but a hiccup happens. The money runs out, the business go bad, the money runs out. Do you give him time to recoup, or you like, man, 6 months don't went by, I need a new partner?
So no, I wouldn't say that. Some tough decisions have to be made. And there may have to be some executive decisions, as I like to call them.
Wow.
So it just depends on what's happening in that 6 months. Like for example, if we're stable, as in the stable I'm used to, in 6 months we should still be okay. There should still be time for you to have lost your job or whatever and still out there. Look, we should be okay within the 6 months. I'm never going to be with somebody that if something happens to either one of us that we're not okay for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
I won't do that to myself.
Right.
So if 6 months go by, we should still be okay. If you're actively, because we're pandemic has done a lot to the economy.
Mm-hmm.
If you're actively looking and you're actively out there and making your best effort, hey, we can talk. There can be a conversation. Now, I can't guarantee what's going to happen. I haven't been in that situation. I can't tell you I'm going to say I'm going to struggle with you. I don't really want to struggle with anybody. I can't tell anybody that at this age we just going to struggle together. I don't see myself saying that unless I was in love with that person, and that's not going to happen. I'm just not going to just struggle.
Mm.
Like, yeah, you can struggle. That's great. Have fun with that.
So basically, you just want a friend with benefits. That's basically what we're talking about here.
Right now, friend with benefits if we're living in the same home.
Okay.
If we're not living in the same home, what you have or what you do has nothing to do with me, because I have no expectations of you. You're not responsible for my well-being. I'm not your dependent. You live in your home, I live in mine. I take care of my bills, you take care of yours. I don't want to know what your mortgage is. Well, that has nothing to do with me at all. My finances have nothing to do with you if we're not.
Well, let me ask you this: do you think there are more and more women that feel this way? Because I've seen several interviews, podcasts of women speaking this way.
I can say I have a lot of great associates
Mm-hmm.
and a few great friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know any of that's in my circle
Mm-hmm.
that thinks this way.
Okay.
Most of my friends are married, and they're married out of love. Most of my friends are in relationships out of love. Most of them are single, but not by choice.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say out of my circle, I'm probably the only one who has this mindset, or the only one who will vocalize it.
That's a fair assumption. As far as in relationship goes, do you think that there ever be a day that you will reconsider and maybe reevaluate your thought process and say, well, hey, you know what? Maybe I was too harsh, or maybe there's something I overlooked, or in time, people change.
I don't. I wouldn't say there's going to be a day where I reconsider, and I'm sitting at home on my couch and I was like, oh, you need to take a different approach. I don't think that's going to happen, but is there somebody out there who can change my way of thinking? And
Probably
somebody
not.
who may come into my life,
Probably not.
or whatever. Somebody who may come into my life, and I may fall head over heels. I don't know that. I haven't met that person. He may be out there. I haven't met him. So
Okay.
it could be, but I haven't met him.
And that's fair. And that's fair. That's fair because some people think, they have tunnel vision. They think, this is how I am. This is what working for me, and there's no modification.
Life can happen.
Right. Okay.
Life can happen.
Okay. I just want to make sure, because like I said, these are pretty bold statements.
Yeah, I stand by it.
Well, let me ask you this:
I stand by it.
what type of effects you think they have on like family life, like raising a kid, or as you said, like if you have a daughter,
So,
how do those ideals rub off on?
so I'm here. I have two daughters,
Okay.
30 and 29,
Okay.
and I'm huge on not making my feelings and my experiences theirs.
Okay.
One of my daughters, she's 30. She's in a great relationship, which she has been. She has a 4-year-old son.
Hmm.
The other daughter is she's in a great relationship, happy relationship, and they are both in love.
Okay.
And I don't. These are my feelings.
Okay.
These are my views. Um, and I want that for them. I want them to be able to experience that. That is great. I'm so happy for them. So I don't discourage it, but I never make my views somebody else's, especially my kids, on anything.
Okay. I can respect that because, um, uh, you know, at times people they become so invested on what they think they have to let everybody know. You know what I
No,
mean?
this is the opinion of one person, and it is again, it's my opinion. And as they say, that's my perception, so that's my reality, only
Right.
mine.
Right. Right. That's understandable, and I also can respect that. Yeah. It's
You weren't ready for this.
no, no. Yeah, maybe. Wow. Yeah.
Life is life.
Yeah.
Life is life.
Yeah. So I mean, along the way, I mean, you didn't meet anybody that impressed you enough where you say, let me let my guard down a little bit. This guy's a little bit different.
I don't think I've ever allowed myself to have that thought process, to even think that way.
Wow.
I don't think I've allowed myself to do that. Yeah, but I haven't been open to
Ladies and gentlemen, if you meet Nola Simone, I guess you better have your winter coat on, boy. It's a little breezy.
that.
It's a little breezy.
Cold in the summer. It's cold in the summer. I'm telling
Yeah, yeah.
you.
And you know what? I can even understand this mindset for anyone, not just female. Anybody that's focusing on a goal, especially if it's a difficult goal, especially in this
Hmm.
market, you have to be pretty crafty when it comes to making good business decisions, and you don't want any
Absolutely.
distractions. And I know a lot of the little so-called internet gurus, um, these little motivational speakers. That's the first thing they say. Oh, isolate yourself, and no one's gonna see it for you, and you should be by yourself, and you should do this. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the whole spiel,
Yeah,
right? Right.
that's right.
But you've never seen, and I take these words from Mr. Washington, Denzel Washington, when he said, "You've never seen a U-Haul truck following a hearse. You can't take it with you. You can't.
Hey,
You can make all the money in the world, but money don't make you happy because it's millionaires killing themselves often. I live in Florida, and a lot of them alcoholics, drug addiction, and they are millionaires, and the money
and,
still doesn't solve the problem.
and that's true. And for me, it's not about. So for me, and that's probably why I don't have a problem with being by myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about what somebody else has, because I do okay. I do pretty okay.
Okay.
But for me, it's about just I like being alone. I have when introvert is an understatement. So it's so very easy for me.
Okay.
But everybody else was in a panic because with COVID and the shutdown. I was like, yes, fine. I don't have to make up a reason to tell somebody I'm not coming. Like I can just not show up and just to say we're in a pandemic. Like
Oh
I
my
didn't have
God.
to think of an excuse not to show up.
Wow.
I just the pandemic did it for me. That was all the excuse I needed, and even now I still use it. I do. So I'm truly an introvert, and I enjoy being alone.
Okay.
Maybe maybe a little too much.
Okay.
Like so that's what it is for me. It's more that
See,
I don't like people around.
see, when you put it that way, it's more understandable. You got some people that don't like a whole lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, they're at peace with being alone.
Yeah.
You know,
And I can't have that outside of my home because I'm in so many things and I'm involved in. So inside my home, I want to be able to structure it the way I want to, and that's alone. Because when I step outside that door, a lot of my time is spent around so many people
hmm
and devoting my time to so many people and so many other things and taken away from me. I just want me when I'm at home. I don't want anyone else here.
hmm.
Catch me outside. Because we
So,
can't, like, we can't do it in here. Like, this is my sanctuary. This is where I'm alone. This is where I'm away from the noise.
but
And I honestly mean it. I cannot, to wake up and have to look at the same person every day would drive me completely insane. Been there, done that. We're adults here. If you come here, you're coming for a purpose. Please don't overextend your stay.
wow.
There's no need to talk. Like, what are, we call me tomorrow. And that's just who I am.
Wait. So, so you're saying, so you're saying if you're in a relationship with someone, you don't want to have phone conversations. You don't want to go through the whole. Let me get to know you. What's your feelings?
I
What you're
mean,
passionate about. Just come
we
over.
can talk about all of that. We can talk on the phone. I'm not a huge phone person because I feel like what has changed in my life that tomorrow, if we talk today, there's nothing that has happened drastically that I need to call you tomorrow and tell you about. Nothing at all. We don't need to talk on the phone every day. I talk on the phone every day with one person, and that's my grandson. There's no need for me to talk to anybody every day. Text me. We don't need to talk. We'll run out of things to say. You can tell me about your day all day long. I am such my friends tell me I work for the CIA. I am so secretive about my life. You can call me and tell me about your day. That's great. I'm happy it went, and that's probably what you'll get. I'm happy you had a great day. Um, that's about it. How was my day? It was a day. Like, I'm not gonna open up to anybody, so I'm not crazy about them opening up to me. I really don't want to know. I don't. I really don't. Like,
Okay.
I could care less.
And that's the reason why we having this interview because, like I said, when you made the statement, I was like, okay, she got to be joking, right? You know what I'm saying? Like
No,
you say, so you say,
no.
you know, yeah, she just, this is just for entertainment. There, there's no way. But I see you dead serious.
I am.
Okay.
Very serious.
Besides the marriage, what was your longest relationship?
Hmm. My longest
Besides the marriage.
besides that, oh, maybe it's 2 years.
So you
Maybe.
so you do interact with a person for a fair
Uh,
amount of time, and
but I'm not a good partner. I'm terrible.
you're not a what? Say it again.
I'm not a good partner. I'm a terrible partner. I am a terrible partner because I am
Okay.
very the
But
truth.
oh,
This is why people end up in things and they regret it and they become resentful towards it because nobody wants to be honest
right.
with each other. I'm a very transparent, a little too transparent, but that's it is what it is.
Well, let me ask you this.
Um,
Let, let's say a guy, gets involved with you, and some guys like, and I'm gonna use the word mean girl. For lack of better words, I'm just gonna say mean girl, or
hmm
sassy, right? Um, and they end up liking you, like seriously liking you, like they're impressed with your
hmm
work ethic, so on and so
hmm
forth. And like, what can a guy do with that? Because
That
basically, he gets in a one-sided relationship.
that happens a lot. I
Wow.
The word I hear all the time is intriguing, and I hear that so many times from guys. I'm intriguing, whatever that may mean to them. That is, I hear that a lot. People often want what they cannot have. They enjoy the chase, so it's a rush. It's not about the person. It's about the act, and it's about the experience, and it's about I'm gonna tame this person, and oh I'm gonna be the first person to do this, or No, she thinks she feels that way, but I'm gonna like that's just human nature. We want to tame the beast.
Mm-hmm.
So I really can't do anything with their feelings. And 9 times out of 10, they will get so annoyed with my replies, my comments, my nonchalant attitude that they kind of just drop off and just stop communicating because
So let me ask you this, right? So generally, how does it end? Because okay, the guy's 2 year, he's 2 year in or a year in, and you know you having a conversation. Do you just do like you did with the marriage and be like, hey, you know what? Today I let you go.
yeah, yeah,
Like usually,
or I think this is getting I think this is getting a little too much, or I can't give you what you need, or
so you give
either
him
they
warning.
get
You give him warning
yeah,
sign.
or either they're sick of me and they're tired of my nonchalant attitude and I don't care about anything, or they're sick of that. So and they have the right, and then you get the, oh, so you're not gonna you don't want to talk about it. No, you've made a decision. You have said you don't want to do this anymore. That is all that matters.
Oh
Like,
crap!
we don't need to discuss that. If you don't, you do not have to justify your whys to anyone. If someone tells me, hey, you're not it, great, have a great life, I wish you well, find a like,
Oh,
okay,
oh, okay. Well, let me ask you this.
great.
Well, let me ask you this. Has it been anyone 6 months, a year passed by, you say to yourself, man, he actually was a good dude?
I can't say that. I haven't had that experience. I haven't
Really?
had the experience of missing anyone once they're out of my life. I really haven't. Um, I can wake up the next day like I never knew you. I really can. I know that's not good,
No, no, it's not. But I'm not.
but
I'm trying my best not to
it
be
is.
judgmental,
You can, hey,
and
judge.
no, 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 no.
I don't
Because
care.
as a person interviewing, I'm somewhat like a scientist here. Like we're trying to find out cause, effect, and that's it. Like I really don't have no attachment to it. Like I'm just trying to
Yeah.
because the type of world we living in is slowly changing. The way people think is
Hmm.
slowly changing. So this may be the start of people thinking like this. So I think this interview is
It
important for that. So I don't have anything invested in this, but I'm just trying to find out the cause and effect. That's it. Yeah.
I I don't like attachments to another human other than my children and my grandson. I don't want to have that type of emotional attachment to a
Mm-hmm.
person because I know sooner or later I'm not going to be able to be what they need from me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to be the cause of anybody being hurt or disgruntled or angry, or I just don't want to be that. We can live in the moment. And that is
Okay.
what I do. We can live in that moment for that day because I know me. I may wake up tomorrow and be like, oh my God, I just don't like the way you look. And just let's just not talk again. I I am that person. There could be the smallest thing that will just irritate me, and I'll be like, okay, yeah, I'll call you tomorrow, but tomorrow may never come. And you will be blocked without notice, and I don't have to give you notice. We're both free people, so I'm. It is what it is. Like
Okay.
I just,
Okay.
it's just that. It's just that simple for me.
Okay. So guys, we done spent time with Miss Simone, and we've had a very interesting and I would say a powerful conversation here. Um, so for someone that may be feeling this way, and we're going to end it with your final thoughts. Um, what would you say to this person that may have these same ideas or share the same ideas you have? What would you say to that person if they're in a relationship and they literally feel the same way you do?
I would say what I say to any and everybody: do what feels right in your soul.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't feel right for you and you don't want to do it, don't do it. If it feels right and you're just having an uncomfortable moment, work through that uncomfortable moment. But we all know what we want. you know. There's no I need to think about it. There's no well let's give it a try. If you know in your heart this is not what I want to do, simply don't do it. You don't need anybody's permission. You don't. And that is what I would say.
Okay. Well, Miss Simone, we appreciate you for talking with the Chat House. And until we chat again, have a wonderful and blessed day.
You too. Thank you.
Okay.